All right, guys, in my hand, I've got the top 10 league winners you need to acquire on your roster right now. Trade for them. Get these guys on your team right now as we head towards the fantasy football playoffs. You need to acquire them. Get them on your team today. Now, stay to the end. The last one is a bit of a shocker. He shocked me. I can't believe he's on this list. But man, oh man, is he getting the volume. So you want to look to get these guys. Some of them bigger names, right? Maybe harder to get. Some of them not so big. You can still have an opportunity to get these guys, trade for them, look to acquire them to win out the rest of the fantasy football league. 10 players, great opportunities. Get these guys on your roster. If you're new to the channel, smash it, tap beside it, hit the thumbs up. If you want my NFL picks, I've linked it below. Get access to all of my picks and win big. I'm telling you, we've been hitting it hard on the Counselor's Edge. I've linked it below. And smash the thumbs up, turn on the bell, okay, for NFL breaking news, notes, and winning fantasy football advice. All right, let's dive into it. I'm just waiting for my kids to pick them up. I like this in the car experience because I'm able to do the videos on the fly, get this information to you, and it's nice. I like this environment, and I'm out in the car, and action-packed information for you, okay? And while I wait for my kids to burn some time. All right, let's talk about this, all right? First guy you need to get on your team. I know this is like, thanks, Captain Obvious. People made fun of me about this guy. He was my first overall pick. Love him. Got him in a few leagues. Is Jan. Listen to his numbers the past 5 games. 26 points, 23, 24, 22, and 29 last week. 20 attempts last week. Now, I was frustrated when I was seeing, what's his face? Algier come out, but he got stuffed 3 times at the goal line. So now the Falcons, if they're smart enough, will know let's not use Algier near the goal line. It's only going to boost Jan's value because Algier was stuffed at the goal line, not once, twice, but 3 times for 0 gain. And as soon as Jan came in, he got a touchdown. So I know it's like, well, Joe, how do I get him? Sometimes you got to give up a lot. But if you need a running back, you want a league winner, you want those consistent numbers, as I just said, Jan's the guy. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Second guy, not so obvious here, okay, is Bucky Irving, okay? Number 7 running back in week 10, 13 attempts, 5.6 yards per carry. White only 3.1 yards per carry. Now, I told you Rachaad White is not good. This guy was only a 3 point whatever yard per carry kind of running back. Lacked explosiveness. And I told you to stash guys like Bucky Irving, guys that could emerge on that depth chart. And he did. Bucky Irving is just outperforming Rachaad White. And then you're going to get the consistent volume out of him. You're going to get the consistent numbers. And he's not as big of a name as a Jan or some of the other guys I'm going to mention here. But you can get this guy for a deal. Bucky Irving, make sure you target him. Get him on your rosters. He's going to be consistent and safe. Like I said, 5.6 yards per carry on 13 attempts last week. Not bad. Not bad. As a top 10 running back last week, okay? Heading into NFL Week 11, these guys, again, they're consistent. They're producing. Get them on your team. Again, we're going to get into some names that aren't as obvious, but the next one here, number 1 running back in football, Derrick Henry. I know it's like, how do I get him on your team? You should have drafted him. You should have listened to me and gone robust RB and drafted. But hindsight, right? 2020. Hindsight is whatever, 2020. Number 1 in fantasy, he is consistent. Now, one of the reasons I loved him is the offense that he's on. And I believe this was his last hurrah. Now, I just looked at some stats on him, number-wise, on what he's making on salary. Believe it or not, Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery are all making more per year than David Montgomery. That's just a quick stat I want to share with you guys. Quick numbers there, quick information. But Derrick Henry, man, this is a team that's driving and trying to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Like, they're all in. So, Derrick Henry, just get him on your team. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I don't need to explain why. If you guys thought I was crazy drafting him in the second round, while all you guys were drafting Nico Collins, all you guys drafted DJ Moore around that area, he's coming off round 3. It was crazy. I'm like, dude, just get Henry. And everyone was like Sam Laporta round 2, which I thought he'd be good, but I kept saying, like, we got Laporta last year. Let's pivot from that, get a workhorse. We got him. So Derrick Henry's the next guy. Number 4 is Courtland Sutton. 9 targets, 6 receptions. Number 6 last week amongst wide receivers, 19 points. Now listen to this, guys. 23 points in week 9, week 10, again, crushed it, right? Crushed it. So when you are looking at a guy that's finally in his groove, Courtland Sutton's the next guy I want to talk about here at number 4. 9 targets, 6 receptions last game. Absolutely looking amazing and consistent every single week, okay? This is what I like. 23 points he had in week 9. Week 10, he was number 6 wide receiver. So Courtland Sutton, Bo Nix, that connection solidified. Get him on your roster. Again, not as a big name as some of the other guys I mentioned, okay? Number 5 here is Calvin Ridley. I feel he's finally hit his groove. He's finally hit his stride. If the Titans want to win, they got to utilize their best wide receiver. He's been consistent the past 2 to 3 weeks. Ton of upside, ton of talent, ton of speed, and they're finding a way to get balls to Calvin Ridley. So he's number 5. He's a must-have on your team. And I think people that are looking at guys like Cortland Sutton, Bucky Irving, and Calvin Ridley are kind of still like, those guys aren't big names. They haven't been performing all year. Am I in on them? Yeah, now they're 100% trending up, okay? Number 6 is Travis Kelce. He's been heating up. These guys are looking at a three-peat, whether you believe the fix is in or not. I believe it is. Travis Kelce is the next guy here. Make sure you get him on your roster. 12 targets, 6 receptions last game. He has solidified himself back as a target. We've had, Rashee Rice off the field. They have had injuries. Hollywood Brown. All their receivers were a bit of a mess this year. And he's now solidified his role. Now he's kind of in that groove again. So look for Travis Kelce to continue. So look to get him on your team. Number 7, not as big of a name as well, but he had 10 targets, 7 receptions last week, is Josh Downs. And listen, this guy's number 1 on his team. Pittman got hurt, banged up, even with still. Josh Downs has stepped up and been the guy. Now, that being said, I think they're making a switch again back to Anthony Richardson. So he's not going to get the Flacco attention. But at the end of the day, man, when you're looking at talent, when you're looking at guys that have been stepping up, they're going to find a way to get the ball to Josh Downs. Again, not as big of a name. You can get this on your team. He can be a potential league winner, okay? 3 more big names, okay? 3 running backs here. Again, hit the thumbs up. Drop your starts and sits questions for NFL Week 11 below. I'll try to get to as many as I can. And head over to my video. I just did a starts and sits where I lay out everything. You can see who's got the optimal matchups. Go check that video out as well. And hit the thumbs up, okay? That thumbs up really helps the channel. Number 8 here, Chase Brown. This guy has been consistent the past couple of weeks. He's on a team that's going to consistently get it done. We have now Jamar Chase, who has been absolutely crushed. He had 55 points last week. That is a really good thing that's going to put the defenses on their heels. They're going to be focusing on the pass, opening things up for Chase. Now, he does have a tougher matchup this week. Be aware of that. And if you don't get him this week, maybe he has a down week this week, then you can get him the week after. But Chase Brown, amazing opportunity, right? When I'm going into this season, I'm like, how can I start the season with Zach Moss? Years to wow, we're not wowed. Chase Brown didn't really wow us, but I knew he had more upside than a Zach Moss. Moss Boss. He's done nothing, Moss Boss, right? So Chase Brown, look to get him on your team, potential league winner for the rest of the season, okay? Number 9 here, another big name. Thanks, Captain Obvious. But it doesn't matter if these guys are obvious. It's about how they finish at the end of the year, and this guy's been consistent. The guy I'm talking about is Jahmyr Gibbs. Listen to this. 32 points, 20 points, 14, 28. Constantly producing week in, week out, putting up solid low-end RB1 numbers on some weeks, solid RB1 numbers other weeks. We still have to contend with David Montgomery, which is annoying, but Jahmyr Gibbs is getting his share, and he's doing so much when he touches the ball. He's constantly gets the ball, explodes out for a run, looks amazing. So Jahmyr Gibbs, get him on your team, and you're saying, well, Joe, I can't get him. Yes, you can. You've got leverage. I'm sure you got enough leverage on your team to swing to get some of these guys, and get guys that are one-week wonders, guys that like MVS. MVS could be good for the rest of the season, right, with the injuries and Saints, but I don't really trust them. Maybe trade high on an MVS or some other guys, package them in, get some of these guys on your team. Now, the last one, like I said, has shocked me a little bit. And the guy I'm talking about is Chuba Hubbard. I mean, 18 points, 17 points, 15 points, 28 points, averaging 5.5 yards per carry last game. Chuba Hubbard, it's all about opportunity. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. Gets the opportunity. Jonathan Brooks has not stepped up. The rookie guy, Jonathan Brooks, he came off, started the season on IR, has not stepped up, consistently injured, not stepped up. Chuba Hubbard, volume, opportunity, a little bit of talent, and you got a recipe to succeed for the rest of the season. We're looking for consistency. When you see that many attempts, when you have 20, like I said, how many have, had a lot of attempts last week. Go check it out. The amount of attempts that he had the past couple weeks, astronomical volume. And that's what we need out of a running back that we want to get on our team that's going to help us win the leagues, okay? So if you're new to the channel, smash it, tap it, slap it. Those are 10 league winners. Look to get them on your team. Short video here for you. Again, drop your starts and sits questions below. I'll try to get to as many as I can, and go check out the last video. I'll put it up here as we end the screen here, okay? Go watch it. Must starts for this week. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Have yourself a good day. I got to go pick up my kids. We'll talk soon, guys. I'm out.